People need to realise the more children women have, the more limited you are.
I really need people to understand your parents' relationship has nothing to do with you.
10 push-ups is not going to transform you, okay?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Mel and welcome to OP Said, where we read the most wildest and most varied Reddit stories out there.
And I'm May, and today's stories are full of surprises, full of drama, and a little bit of revenge.
I'm Marie. Welcome to another episode. Let's go.
All right, let's get started. My first story is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for telling my husband that he absolutely ruined the birth of our child? Hi, everyone. Our daughter is now 8 weeks old, so obviously this whole argument has gone on for a very, very long time. We both have been holding grudges and neither of us think that we are wrong. My husband does not know I'm posting this, so I'm going to keep it as anonymous as possible. So when I got pregnant with my daughter, my husband started immediately telling me that I should have a home birth. I really don't know why he was so adamant on it, but he was. At first, I brushed him off and told him I would think about it because I was only 6 weeks pregnant. And the birth seemed so far away. Of course, it came quickly and my husband would literally speak over me at doctor's appointments when my doctor would ask if I had a birth plan. This caused a few arguments between us in those 39 weeks of pregnancy, but I never really changed my mind. Eventually, my husband's mother sat me down and talked to me, and she told me all the reasons why they did not want me to go to a hospital for the birth. I expressed my concerns about the safety of the baby and myself, but just like my husband, she brushed me off. I ended up telling my husband that I would take myself to the hospital when it was time and that I did not want a home birth. He acted as if he didn't hear me. We met with a doula who was also very pushy. I felt overwhelmed and not supported at all. I was 36 weeks at this point. So when I went into labour, I was 39 weeks and I absolutely begged my husband to take me to the hospital where my doctor is. He wouldn't. He spoke to me condescendingly and called a doula instead. I was in labour for about 3 days, active labour for around the last 22 hours. I cried the whole time. I just felt something was wrong. I was scared and oftentimes they left me alone. The doula told me that if active pushing and labour reached 24 hours, I had to go to the hospital. I remember thinking that I could not decide which was worse, staying in labour for another 2 hours or having my baby right there. When she was finally out, I don't even remember wanting to hold her. I just remember crying out of relief. Obviously, I am okay now, but I did not have a good experience. On my first appointment after birth with my doctor, she was very shocked I had the baby. She was concerned. I was so upset. I told my husband that he absolutely ruined it for me. I truly never want to go through that again. I hear mothers say that they forget all about the pain the second the baby is born. But I didn't. I love my daughter so much, but it was horrible and it was entirely his fault. So I told him that several times. He rolls his eyes every time and tells me how mothers are strong and how I'm not trying to be strong. I told him that if we were to ever have another baby, which he wants, that I will never do a home birth ever again. His response is, we'll see. I cannot possibly be the arsehole here, can I? Everyone around me is acting like this is so normal, but it's not, is it?
Sorry, is she in a cult? Why is her husband forcing her to give birth in the way that he wants? It should be her choice, her body, her choice. And then also, what's with the mum stepping in? And what's with the forceful doula? Like, there's so many questions here. I don't understand what's actually going on. Is it a cult? Is he a leader? What is happening? And why can't they go to the hospital?
They can't go to the hospital because she's a surrogate for the mother. Mummy Dearest said, that's not good for you. And the only time a man is always going to have a belief is if his mother says so. Or if someone he respects says so.
About childbirth, you mean?
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is why she couldn't have just called 911 and told them that she's giving birth.
Because she's in absolute agony.
So she can't pick up the Siri, call 911.
She may not have been able to. Like, literally, I don't know. Marie can speak to that. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, you don't have all your senses and all your strength when you're going.
Girl, if you're in pain, do you not think that you could find your phone to call 911?
You can, but she's not in a supportive environment.
So she's in physical pain and she's doing something that she doesn't want to do. Why can't she just call 911 and say, I'm in labor and this is my address?
I don't know, but I'll tell you something for nothing. She lost me at if we were to have another one.
Yeah, thank you.
It is what it is.
That's what I was
Live
thinking
your
as
life,
well.
sis.
But the thing is, I don't understand. This is a very controlling environment. And I'm talking about both her husband and her mother-in-law. Because she said whenever she brings it up, she's dismissed and he rolls his eyes. What about that tells you, oh, this is a perfect environment to introduce child 2, child 3, child 4?
Because if she were to describe it, she would say, apart from this, we are a perfect match.
He's the
And
love of my
he's the love
life.
of my life. And he's always been so kind. But since
a
I've been
perfect
pregnant,
partner.
it's been this. I'm telling you, if we had more context, that's what would be said. But she needs to leave. She's in a very dangerous environment.
Literally.
Because she could forget even childbirth, which is already so dangerous. But she could say, I'm not feeling well. And he will say, be strong.
Yeah.
Like, it could be anything. She could describe a pain about anything, and he would say, hang tight. My mother had 4 kids and was at home, and she was able to do this. Or women shouldn't whimper. Women shouldn't do this. That's what it sounds like. So for me, basically, you are in a very toxic environment. You need to, in the middle of the night, you need to escape.
Completely right. I
And
literally...
take, and take that kid as well.
I literally watched a TikTok today and this lady was saying how as the years have gone on, one of her superpowers is not talking to people about what happened. She goes, they know what they did. I know what they did. We know what the situation was. She goes, back in the day, I used to talk to them and give them my feedback. I used to say X, Y, and Z. But she said, do you know what? I've left relationships. I've left friendships because why would I give them an opportunity to turn my opinion, to manipulate me, gaslight me, and essentially get me to give them a second chance? Which is exactly that situation. I think there's no conversation that can be had. She experienced what she experienced, which was essentially hell. Like, she wanted to give birth this way, and they decided their opinion was the only opinion that mattered, even though it was her experience. Her first child?
Yeah, first.
Her first child, and it was hell. It was horrible. She has a really bad and negative experience. Despite that, thankfully, she does love her child. Like, it didn't rub off on that, but on her child, fortunately. But I'm just thinking, do you know, there's nothing good that's going to come from this, and no conversation is going to change the situation as well. That's why I do think, do you know what? Don't have a conversation, because she'll be gaslit, dismissed, ignored, persuaded otherwise. She needs to leave immediately. And so, no. You're not the asshole.
I also want to add as well, like, people need to realize the more children women have, the more limited you are.
Oh my God.
Like,
absolutely.
When you have no children, it's like, this is your world. You have a child, it's like this. Then you have another one, it becomes like this. The more it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And every time you give this man what he wants, you're going to be compromising. You're going to be losing a little bit of yourself. And girl, like I said, in the middle of the night, I wouldn't even say what I would just book a cab or run to the nearest bush and leave, because ain't no way.
I have so many thoughts on this, but like, ultimately, she's not safe. Do you know
I
what?
agree.
Like, because every decision of hers gets overridden by her mother-in-law and the husband. Like, they either pacify her or dismiss. The husband literally rolls his eyes every time she says that, how he ruined her experience and, you know, it was just absolutely terrible. She absolutely hated it. And especially as a first-time mom, I'm sure she was looking forward to it. But ultimately, I don't know how she can even still be in that marriage. Talk less about considering having a second baby. That man doesn't care about her or her opinions. You know that? Anything she suggests, I'm gonna assume he's just like, yeah, sure, and says, oh, he's probably thinking, let me talk to my mum.
But you know what? Let's also, like, we can't just distribute blame, like, just to one side.
No. It starts with her.
I think
Starts with her.
she's a clown and she really likes this circus, and she's gonna keep coming back to the circus.
row seats.
Because do you know what? For her to say, you know, next time, I'm just like, girl, get it together.
Next time,
Get it
is
together.
wild.
There is no reason why there's a next time. Like, you should just only be looking for the exit.
Not even the reason why there's a current.
Yeah, listen.
How do we get here?
No, but you know why? It's so dangerous because, first of all, she even said next time, yeah. But you know what he said? He said, we'll see. That means he's got his own plans. Do you know how dangerous
But
that
she
is?
knows what those plans are, guys.
Yeah, it's going to look exactly the same as the first.
But also, I
No.
guarantee he's one of those guys that wants like 3 or 4 kids. He wants
Absolutely.
to churn them out,
Absolutely.
and only in the way that he wants them. Like, yeah, this is a dangerous situation for
So
me.
dangerous. But also, another thing that really caught my eye in this dilemma was women are strong. Oh my God, kill me now. Look, let's discuss this one because, especially as black women, we are deemed to be strong. You know that whole strong black female trope? That's exactly what it is. It's a trope.
Consider me a petal.
Yeah, I've said
I
no.
am weak.
I am made
No,
out of
do you
paper.
know what I am? I'm
When
wet paper.
Flimsy, my dear, flimsy.
No.
Bro, when I say I
not strong.
used to be that person. I used to be like, oh yeah, Miss Independent, etc., etc. And I've got a lot of pride, so I used to run with that. Now, oh my God, my dear, I break down at everything. Consider me made out of the weakest material there is.
Yeah.
That strong thing, being called strong is in no way a positive or something to uphold or to identify yourself as, because it means that people dismiss your feelings.
Yeah.
It means that people think that you can take more than anybody else, that, oh, you just handle it. No, I wouldn't recommend it. So if anyone calls you strong or independent, if a man calls you strong or independent, run.
It's a setup.
Because they are about to deliver anything
Hell.
possible.
It's a setup.
Don't do it. Don't do it. So, yeah, after everything that she went through, 3 days in labour, 22 hours of active labour, she went through hell, and I'm pretty sure she probably didn't need to go through all of that. Were she in a hospital as she wanted? So, yeah, for me, nah, she's not the arsehole. And let's stop normalising it, because she asked, is this normal? It's not normal. And the reason why you know it's not normal is because you are asking a question. No, because it doesn't sit right with you. And we have a top comment. This man and his family are a clear danger to you and your child.
That's what I said.
As we said.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous situation, man.
Do you know what? The fact that she keeps on having it and even considering doing it again.
How old is she?
No, she didn't say how old she is.
I feel like she's younger and he might be older.
She may be younger, but you know what? I don't
They could
agree
be the
with it.
same age at 32.
Exactly.
I'm not going to lie to
or
you.
even 42. Let me tell you, age has got nothing to do with accepting nonsense. Do you know, things that I think like mothers don't realise, and only maybe because I've been there, like staying in something that isn't good for you isn't good for your child, because you just sit there and watch it. And honestly, after a while, like your child might even start undermining you if like it's just the way things run. Like if the mum and the grandma undermine the mum, the child might begin to do it. Like they'll just
Not might. I guarantee it.
Yeah, might. I
guarantee
say
it.
might
When
because
you
it's not
see,
everyone.
When you see your parent being disrespected, being overlooked, being dismissed, you too in turn tend to do the same thing.
Yeah, or you
because
start
it's the
internalising
environment.
it as well. Yeah, you start normalising it. Like you just understand that that's the way things work in this household. And also, ultimately, I always think like, what are you teaching your child? Like literally, a lot of women will stay in all of these nonsense, toxic relationships, and it's like, what are you actually teaching your child? Because I'll say from my own experience, with me, it taught me to run when I see anything similar to what I've witnessed. But there are a lot of people that repeat the cycle. And then you wonder why your daughter gets into like horrible relationships, why she's being abused mentally, physically, because that's what she saw you doing.
And that's what you've basically told her without saying the words is what love looks like.
Yes, and that's, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, anyway, we've concluded it's dangerous, but I bet she'll stay. Drama and chaos aside, if you haven't subscribed, please can you do us a favour and hit the subscribe button. It helps to push our content to people just like you who are enjoying but not subscribing. Anyway, that aside, we're also on Threads, Instagram and TikTok at OP Podcast. Make sure to follow. We have different content there. And if you want even more drama, every Tuesday we have a new series called Drama Tuesdays on Instagram and TikTok, where we share our reviews of the latest dramas that we're into. So films, shows, series, all of that.
My story comes from relationship advice. I, 28 female, found a makeup brush in my partner's 28 male car and I can't let it go. Throw away. This occurred back in December and I haven't been able to stop wondering about it. I just need somewhere to dump this from my mental prison. My partner, 28 male, and I, 28 female, have been together for 4 years. Some backstory. He works seasonally, 2 to 3 months, twice a year. It isn't uncommon for people in this line of work to cheat on their partners and openly discuss it. Anyway, there have been instances where boundaries were established after some work-related conversations were getting too personal. While he is an extremely friendly and outgoing person, sometimes I question some of the intent. This particular time frame was September to November. I took a trip to see him for a week in the middle. While I was visiting, I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary in his car, just the same old stuff that's always in there. Then again, why would I have been searching? In his free time, he and his work friends often go for dinner, drinks, and to bars. There have been instances where things haven't added up. Anyway, onto the discovery of the magically appearing item, a singular eyeshadow brush in the back door cubby. It's a week before Christmas. I was using his car for work while mine was getting worked on. I was getting some of my work gear out of the back seat and looked down to see it. Stomach ache on demand. If you get it, you get it. I got a break from work and asked him in the most gentle, non-confrontational way I could muster, bringing him out to the car. I picked up the brush and asked him if he knew where it came from. I must admit, yes. My hands were shaking, but I was calm the entire time. He became defensive instantly, and the first thing he told me was that it belonged to one of 3 people, one of them being me. I can assure you it does not belong to any of us 3, mainly due to the age of the other 2, and has been there for 6+ months. He only got more upset and turned around once we brought the conversation inside. Then the story switched. Now, he had found the brush under the bed in the Airbnb along with the rest of the set and thought they were mine, so he brought them home. I even asked if it was his female work friends, since I know they often carpool for outings, and that wasn't it either. It was getting so heated that I diffused the argument and said, "If you say so." A couple of days went by and I mentioned it again because the other brushes never appeared. He proceeded to grab my stowaway bag, my old makeup bag with a small mix of brushes dating all the way back to 2014. And if you know a hoarder, you know I know my stuff, LOL. And proceeded to gaslight me about the mixture of brushes. He asked if I had had them forever, how couldn't it be in the realm of possibility that I'd forgotten about this one? Mind you, I had thrown it away on that first day after the argument, and he went out of the way to pick it up and put some other chick's brush in my bag. I scrubbed it on a paper towel to see if it was used, and sure enough, dark brown eyeshadow. Fast forward to the last few months and present day, I'm still thinking about it. It became sort of a weird inside joke. Before he left again a month ago, he'd made comments about leaving my personal items in his car to keep him accountable. Yuck. Tonight, I Googled the brand of the brush. One exact match, and it turns out it came from a pack of 7. I clicked the link, and it's from a beauty supply store in the city about 25 to 30 minutes away from where he stays for that specific work area. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's all unraveling before me. I feel weird and off-put and just confused why honesty can't be a thing. I want to understand and communicate, and if there is something, I want to work through it, but that seems impossible. He'll be back in the area soon, and I feel like I'm reading a juicy book on the edge of my seat, biting my fingernails and fantasizing about what magical item could be waiting for me next time. I don't quite know what to do in this kind of situation, and the hardest part for me is being kept in the dark. Thanks for your insight.
If you don't know, we don't know. With all the evidence laying in front of you, if you don't know, how could we possibly tell you anything more? He's cheating. You found the evidence and he said it's from your makeup bag. All this sleuth activity that you're doing behind the scenes helps no one. You can still present it, and he's still going to say, "How do you know you didn't buy it?" Make up your mind. Do you want to leave him or do you not? What are you confused about?
Bro, she said that she's on the edge of her seat as though she's watching a movie or reading a book. I don't understand what is going on. Like, what? Either you're the character in this story, or you just like watching your whole life and unravel before your very eyes and not sure where it's going. Like, I don't really get what's going on. First and foremost, there's a really simple question. Have you been to this supply store and bought a brush from that area? Because she said it could only come from one place. If the answer's no, which I'm assuming the answer's no because she didn't say so, sis, it doesn't belong to you. You know that is someone that he's been in contact with and someone that wears makeup, often a woman, which equals what? Cheating, unless you have an open relationship. Next, why are you sitting here just waiting for whatever storyline he comes up with next? Like, do you not want to be, are you not in control of your own life? Like, why are you writing this Reddit in the first place? Because it seems like this is all a sport to you. It seems like you're just waiting to see what's going on.
She said that
I'm so confused.
the beginning of the story was the line of work that he does is known for cheating. She already has her plot and she's happy there. Some people are just happy there.
No, but then what is she writing in for? Because she literally said, May, please, I beg, quote me. I'm here on the edge of my seat waiting to see what he's going to come up with next.
Biting her fingernails as well.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I feel like I'm reading a juicy book on the edge of my seat, biting my fingernails and fantasizing about what magical item could be waiting for me next time.
It's like a game to her. That's why I said it's like sport. I'm so confused. Either you are interested in wanting to correct his behaviour and either deal with the cheating or not. But like sitting here and just saying, oh, you're just going to wait to see what else he has next. Like, is this a game to you? That's more my question. I don't understand. And I'll tell you something for nothing as well. Sis, the first time you see something that doesn't belong to you and belongs to a woman, leave. Or note it until something else happens and then leave. The only reason why I say that, let me tell you something. My first relationship, I saw straighteners that did not belong to me. I saw straighteners that did not belong to me in my boyfriend's room at the time. I knew I did not leave my straighteners in his home. Yeah? This is many years ago and he actually did have hair, yeah? But that man never straightened his hair. He never straightened his hair. He used to just cornrow them. That was it. Anyway, long story, very short, roll on. Yes, this man was cheating. He was enjoying his life. He had 2 women on the go. So I say the first time you see it, and it's not making sense, that there's no way this item could be yours, leave. Let him enjoy the other girlfriend or just a life of singleville, singlehood, singleton. Just let him do that. Because
Singledom,
single town, singlehood, singledom, whatever it is. But yeah, I would just say, honestly, from my own experience, don't have it. Because you know in your heart of heart what you own. Like, I know, I'm not a hoarder though, so I don't know about all of what she's talking about. But she says that she seems to know every item that she owns. I know what item I own, and I know what item I don't own. So stop lying to yourself. Either just have it or just stop writing in because you're going to stay anyway.
Top comment. Sweetie, you know what's going on.
Exactly.
Stop fooling yourself. There's nothing to work through. Either you want a cheater or you walk away.
Mm-hmm.
You don't lie or get defensive unless there's something to hide. Let's be real. The other woman knows about you and she left that there deliberately. They also do the sun visor trick too.
So mine is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for bragging about my scholarship to a friend who's struggling?
Yeah,
Yes.
you are. Yeah.
Yes.
I hate that. I'm so sorry. It's like talking about how much food you've got at home to a homeless person. Like, why would you do that?
Or-
it's so insensitive.
Or telling somebody about the great holidays you're going to go on, knowing that they ain't got no money for a holiday.
I think it's so insensitive.
So lovely that you guys came to all these conclusions before the story was read. I, 22 female, was advised to apply for an entrance scholarship, and I had asked my friend to be my reference for it, but she had refused, saying, I don't know why you even need that. I hadn't pressed her further and just asked an old high school teacher to be my reference, and she agreed. I luckily, and to my shock, ended up receiving the 40k. I called my friend right after I got the email and told her about it, but instead of being happy, she was very distant and gave me one-word responses. When I asked her about it, she says she doesn't understand why they would pick me over other people who might need an award and that I shouldn't have applied. Still feel the same way? She also said that I was bragging because she doesn't have much money. But I reminded her that she had won the same amount of money 4 years prior, and unlike me, her award allowed her to use it for living expenses and school. Mine only goes towards the school tuition costs. I also pointed out that she had an apartment with her mum where she can live, and I don't have any family to support me since I aged out of foster care. She just responded with, whatever, I should go, and left me at the mall by myself. I had even got her boba, which she refused to accept, and ended up buying the same thing right in front of me. Now she's just ignoring me and even blocked me on Instagram. Even my calls won't go through because I'm blocked there too. I have at times suspected she doesn't like me achieving anything. When we met in high school, I was always worse than her. Didn't achieve much, couldn't dress cleanly, bad household, couldn't afford to eat, got horrible grades, and to be honest, no one liked me because I dressed pretty ugly since I only had 2 very ugly mismatched outfits I'd alternate between. Since then, I've gained a bit more freedom, but I'm still struggling and I don't see myself as better than her, just more equal. I can work too now, get myself presentable clothes and be normal. I don't think she likes that. I don't understand why, since I've always been supportive of her achievements and been there for her. But I still feel guilty talking about winning something when she might be struggling herself. Am I the asshole?
Okay, so no. I don't. Do you know what it is?
I take it back.
Yeah, I take it back, but just to this situation, generally, absolutely, I think it's horrible. Don't do that. But she isn't bragging, so I don't think there's anything wrong with it. She was literally just sharing her news with her friend.
Yeah.
You're her friend. Like, why can't she share good news with you? However, it seems that, certain people honestly just want you beneath them. And I mean, in every way possible, whether it's your looks, your social, economic status, like they just are comfortable as you've always been. They don't like you to do better in any way possible. But that to me is just not your friend. I think you should get new friends and not necessarily invest so heavily in that relationship, because anything you say probably sounds like bragging to people like that. And that's why she feels the way that she does. However, OP said that she herself, her friend, received the same award a few years before, but it went to her living and other expenses. So it's like she's just a hater, because okay, you had your turn, and I'm pretty sure OP didn't say anything, was just happy for her friend. But what, I can't have my turn now? That's why I think no, she's not the arsehole. She's not the one in the wrong. You should be able, and this is the thing, you should really honestly be able to share good news with friends and family. Like, the problem is when it's seen as though you're bragging, when people start hating on you, it's not you that's the problem. You're actually in the wrong environment, because that's not actually normal to have to live such a secretive life and have to, I don't know, like downplay your successes and be incredibly humble. Like, why can you not be proud of the things that you've accomplished and the things that you have worked hard for?
I agree. I've been in a similar situation.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's really obvious. They're not friends.
Yeah.
That's her friend views her as her competitor.
Yeah.
Like, it's not anything new. We've addressed these sort of relationships, and unfortunately, there are a lot of people where that's not your friend. That's nobody that wants anything good for you. Mm-hmm. Like, the fact that she can even type in, I can't go to her to talk to her about my achievements, it's not your friend.
It's not okay.
Like, anybody who you should be able to call a friend should want good things to happen to you, should want to hear about your achievements, should want to be able to share and celebrate you and what you've accomplished, you know, anything good happening in your life that you want to celebrate. Get rid of her. get rid of her and move forward and find people around you that will celebrate what you're doing.
She doesn't need to get rid of her. She got rid of herself. She blocked her. So
It's true.
you don't have to do
okay.
anything. Like,
It's
she
true.
blocked her from everything. So my thing is, guys, that dignity, never beg. Never. If someone's blocked me, I'm not going to call them to find out why. I'm not going to
Absolutely
come
not.
to your house. I'm not going to find out anything, especially if you've done me dirty. So that's number one. I've had a similar situation, but when I was in university, I did not look like this. And I'm not saying it because I look much better, but I remember I had this friend
I think she is.
well, yeah, I look better, but
The glow up is
the
real.
girl that I'm talking about, she clearly felt like I was really beneath her. And there was this guy that we all liked. To her shock and horror, he liked me too. You know what she did? She went and told him, I like you, and they ended up hooking up. And then after, she was like, oh yeah, while we were hooking up, he told me he liked you, and she smiled in my face. I said,
Wow.
and we're done here. We are done here. Because you would do that to me? Nah,
That's
I'm not involved.
disgusting.
And she loved, I remember she used to love like putting me down. If I wore something, she'd be like, you look nice for once. And I'm like, first of all, I'm not a charity case. I'm not even having those kind of problems. Don't make me out to be someone like that. I'm not a fashion forward person. That's not my interest. I like hair, but that's it. But because she was one of those girls, she liked her makeup, she was fashionable. It was like, oh yeah, this is my deadbeat friend Marie. No, that friendship stopped very, very fast. University taught me a lot.
Same.
School
It
of
taught
hard
me a lot.
knocks.
Same.
It taught me so much.
Yeah.
I had a really it was a crash course of
Like
life.
in adulting.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah,
naive when I
hear
went to
that.
university. I was so naive. I was sheltered. Like, I was kept away from certain situations.
Same.
I didn't go to sleepovers. I wasn't outside with the girls at night. So once I got, I was like, I'm outside. And I was like, oh, maybe inside is nice. Sorry. What is going on here? It's a jungle. Awful. And we have a top comment. Not the arsehole. I had a friend like that who was friends only when she thought she was better than me. Once I started catching up, she ghosted me. This girl is no longer your friend. If she ever was one, she liked being the one to be better than you in her eyes. You are now achieving things she couldn't, even with much more help than you received. Congratulations on your scholarship. It's a great achievement and you should be proud of yourself. Ditch the so-called friend and make better friends. OP's response? Thing is, she also received a very similar 40k scholarship. That's why I don't understand this. You don't have to understand people. Like, let go of that. I need to understand. I want to understand. It's not for you to understand. That person is never going to let you in on their thought process. So forget it.
But even if they did, it wouldn't make sense to you. Ultimately, they just
Don't like you.
they don't like you.
you.
And they just like to see you lower, beneath, less well off than you. Literally. That's all it is.
To be fair, if you don't feel comfortable expressing your achievements,
Listen.
this is somebody that you shouldn't have in your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what role they play in your life. If they make you feel uncomfortable to go to them and tell them something good happened in your life, get rid of them. But it's fine. OP did what she needed to do. The girl's blocked. So I'm thankful about that.
The girl's blocked. You mean OP's blocked?
OP's blocked. Who's blocked?
Yeah, OP is.
OP did nothing, guys.
OP's
She
blocked.
did
Okay, I wasn't listening.
OP's blocked.
Okay, cool.
This story is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for glowing up after my divorce and not before?
There's a reason why.
Listen, I, 53 female, have been divorced from my ex-husband, Larry, 54 male, for 6 years. Larry and I have 2 adult children, Steve, 27 male, and Carla, 25 female. Larry and I met in college when we were both electrical engineering students. We were both very much on the nerdy side and looked apart, but we were very attracted to each other, in brackets, so I thought anyway. We got married soon after we graduated and both worked as engineers, but after a few years, Larry decided he wanted to go to law school to become a patent lawyer. In order to look the lawyer part, Larry underwent a major glow-up during this time on pretty much all levels, in brackets, tailored clothes, fancy haircuts, design accessories like watches, etc., along with working out to trade his dad bod for a lean gym bod. During this time, I was having/raising our small children while taking care of about 95% of household matters. because of his long working hours, all while working full time. I admit I did not glow up along with Larry. My own appearance has always been on a plainer side. I'm not overweight but a bit stocky, in brackets 5'5", 140 pounds. Simply cut my hair, glasses, practical clothes, not much makeup. Larry loved me as is for about the first decade of our relationship, but after he started working as a lawyer, he started to become drawn to more conventionally attractive women and had several affairs. When I pressed for counselling, he said that the issues were things like my big nose and post-baby tummy pooch, in brackets, not things I could fix with a simple makeover. I was getting organised to ask for a divorce when Carla was hit by a car while riding her bike. She survived and is fine now, but needed several years of intensive surgeries and rehab. In order to provide a unified front for Carla, in brackets, and Steve, Larry and I agreed to stay married and be as cordial as possible. In brackets, he continued to see other women during his time, but by this time I was past trying to get him to be faithful. We separated, in brackets, and divorced after Carla went off to college. Larry is remarried now to a much younger woman, 33 female. In the past couple of years, I have actually decided to focus more on myself, including my appearance. Now that my children are grown and out of the house, I don't have to worry about tiptoeing around a difficult husband. I finally have time and resources to do so. I didn't get a nose job or other plastic surgery like Larry had wanted, but I did update and colour my hair, started working out more, in brackets, lost about 15 pounds, got a new wardrobe and actually started dating, in brackets, I don't have a steady partner yet, but regularly go to age-appropriate singles events and go on dates. Unfortunately, my children detest the new me. In particular, they blame me for the divorce and are angry that I didn't glow up to accommodate Larry, saying I was too selfish and lazy to do so when it mattered. My son Steve is getting married soon and says he is too angry to invite me to the wedding. Carla has gone low contact with me. I had great relationships with both of them until I started my own glow up process a few years ago, which was a few years after Larry and I finalised our divorce. Steve and Carla have told me that the only thing that would be fair is to go back to the way I was before, meaning stop colouring my hair, dress in my former plain/frumpy way, and stop dating. They say they are more upset about the dating and that it's not fair for me to be looking for a new partner. So, am I the asshole for everything I have done here, for not improving my appearance until after I got the divorce? I don't really think Larry would have been faithful to me no matter how much I twisted myself in knots. I feel I did the best I could given the energy and resources I had. And while it may seem selfish, I do believe I deserve to have my own life now. But I am open to other opinions if I have done something wrong here.
Your children are assholes.
Thank you.
If my children did that, I would disown them. Are you crazy?
I've got one thing to say. Fuck them kids.
Are you crazy?
100%. And also, they're big adults now, you know. 27 and 25. And yet they're out here telling, Mummy, if you don't go back looking to that looking like that raggedy, worn down woman.
Plain and frumpy.
Out of... If you don't go back to looking rough, essentially, then we won't have you in our lives.
It's okay
and
for
also,
Dad to be married.
thank you. And also, let me tell you something, yeah? Also, this story, I shook my head quite a bit in the story because it was really ridiculous. It's like the ridiculousness actually just continued. It got more and more.
Worse.
No, it did. The story actually just got worse and worse and then worser. Yeah. Because, no, let me tell you something, yeah? Because how dare you meddle in your parents' relationship and say, if you didn't go back to looking like the mum that we're familiar with, then your relationship would be A-okay. Oh, what? So I'm just supposed to accept? I'm supposed to just still be here whilst he cheats on me? Yeah. And also, tell me of a time when you knew of a woman who was still happy and who somehow was able to carve out the time to make herself look better, to work out, to work on her appearance, to glow up whilst doing 95% of the work at home.
No, that's a household. That
Households.
doesn't include
Thank you.
childcare either.
And don't forget, she
and
works
working full time.
She works as an engineer, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, so wait a second, where's she supposed to muster this glow up? Where's she supposed to get the glow up energy, the glow up time as well, whilst running a household, whilst being a mother, and whilst I assume it's a demanding career, being an engineer. But you know what? Fundamentally, us children have no business meddling in our parents' relationship.
Say that
I really need
again.
people to understand your parents' relationship has nothing to do with
Absolutely
you.
nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I say that as somebody who was brought into an intervention about my parents' relationship.
Yeah, don't do
That
it.
it was, now I think about it, I'm actually embarrassed that I was even part of that situation, part of that that stupid intervention. But no child has any stake. Their opinion shouldn't count for shit when it comes to the status of their parents' relationship. And I don't care. You guys can argue in the comments, fight amongst yourselves. But I think you need to stay stum when it comes to your parents' relationships. It actually has nothing to do with you.
I agree. I mean, I had a couple of things to say about my relationship. But it's more about my mom getting back with my dad. I was like, hell to the no. Stand up straight, man. You crazy.
It's true.
Put your chin up.
Walk forward.
No, or just stand up. I'm telling you, no. A lot
crazy?
of them, especially our parents' generation, just stand up for
My
yourself.
dad tried to come and be like, oh, maybe it was a mistake. And my mum was just there giggling. I said, I'm sorry. Get off that phone.
Listen,
Man up. Are you crazy?
But also,
No,
do you
I'm
not
not
think
into
these
that.
people, they're too old?
girls.
They're too old.
Girls.
I
But
can
like you
understand,
always say-
when your kids, like, you think you could just say, you could be like, oh, I want mummy and daddy to be. When you're a child, I can understand that. But when you're
Yeah.
27 and 25, really?
but
They
and-
do need to grow up. They do.
They
need
really
to
do
grow
need to
up.
Don't you guys remember in This Is Us, when Miguel's children were like, oh, you weren't in our lives. And he was like, I tried to be in your lives and you guys were ungrateful.
Yeah.
So I went about my business. You guys were big kids and you decided that you didn't like me because of me and your mum getting divorced. So now here we are. So my thing is, I'm really sorry that after all the work that she went through and did for those kids spat in her face. The fact that her son doesn't want her to come to a wedding and can actually say it's because of her glow up, even though he has accepted that his dad has gone with a younger,
Thank you.
a younger woman,
Younger
who is
model.
27.
He's gone
yeah,
with a younger model.
who is only 6 years older than him. And I think that is so outrageous. So daddy can do all the things, even though he cheated multiple times.
Exactly.
And you're excusing his cheating by saying like, because you looked frumpy. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
And why is
you
the door
decided to
gone
marry
low
me
contact?
in this frump? You decided to marry me looking like this. So you should accept me in all my plainness. I'm so sorry. You
Wait,
should have left.
in all fairness, she didn't look like that at the beginning. Like, they were at college. Obviously,
They were nerdy and they were just
yeah,
attracted
but
to
that
each
doesn't
other.
mean that, like, clearly her looks got worse
He
after
said
the
that he
kids.
didn't like her nose. Sorry, I don't care.
Yeah.
There's no way in this world the same nose that I've had, all of a sudden, that's the one that your big nose.
I know, but when your face spreads, she had 3 kids. Her face could
There's
have
no
spread.
mention of
We've
a third
seen
child
it.
here.
She had 2 kids, Steve and Carla.
Oh,
Yeah, and the dad is 54, not 67, as I thought. Sorry.
yeah.
As I said.
The dad's 54, she's 53.
That's correct.
Okay, no. But my thing,
I don't agree.
no, you're right. But I will say to you, like, she obviously, I don't believe that what she looked like in college was what she looked like after 2 kids.
I don't look like what I
I'm
entered
sorry,
my
guys,
relationship with. It
guys,
doesn't matter.
yeah,
No,
Like,
I'm not.
fuck all of that.
No, it's not about that. I'm just talking about. I'm just speaking to a point that she said. That's it. But anyway, sorry. Yes, everybody's completely right. Yeah, clearly he actually wasn't attracted to it if he can mention that she.
No, but apparently he
nose.
was for the first 10
Her-
years, and then
No, but
thereafter
clearly he
wasn't.
wasn't, because if you're saying that you
No,
basically
no,
need a
no.
nose job.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
there's
no,
so
no,
there's so there's this saying. I don't know what exactly, and someone in the comments can definitely correct me. But apparently, men go for women that they can afford.
Yeah.
And now,
100%.
obviously, he is a lawyer. He's got more change. You know, he literally did a whole glow up from like body, diet, etc., etc. So
He can afford the
now,
better.
Exactly. He's in a
He
new,
could go a level up.
He's in a new tax bracket. So he's obviously feeling himself, getting younger, more attractive models. And she even said now attracted to conventionally attractive, which I'm going to assume is universally beautiful or pretty, attractive women. So it's that. Forget all of that. Stop making excuses. Oh, maybe he was attracted to her in the beginning, then he wasn't, then because of the baby. No, my dear. everybody ages. And this is another thing. I don't know why there's so much pressure and so much interest in the way women age. Let's talk about men. A lot of you lot lose it, yeah? And I mean lose it. Some of you never even had it, but lose it from mid-20s.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your hair is receding, your belly is doing all sorts because of the beer that you're drinking.
But you're talking about muscle
But you're
memory.
here talking about the kind of woman that you like. And muscle memory from 5 years
Not the
ago.
spasm.
It's the muscle memory for
Oh
me.
my God, my
I could
friends,
go,
yeah.
I could
God,
go
it used
to
to
the
get me
gym.
mad.
Just give me 3
Yeah,
months.
it used to get me mad.
3 months, I can get that
Oh.
body from when I was 16. Get out of here.
Men are
No.
so delusional. My friends used to be like, the muscle memory will have their bodies intact after they hadn't been to the gym for like 5 years. I'm like, bro, like, be for real. And before they go out clubbing or whatever, they'll be like, oh yeah, I just need to do my push-ups. My dear, 10 push-ups is not going to transform you, okay?
Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Again, let
I
me
like
go
the
back.
vim.
Let me go back.
I like it.
Let me go back to what I originally said. Fuck them kids.
Yeah.
And I mean that from the bottom of my soul. How are you demanding your mum goes back to a state that she wasn't happy in? Do you know she was in survival mode?
Yeah.
Because she was so consumed with the weight of her responsibilities. And I mean, as a full-time employee, as a mother, and doing 95% of the household chores, and you think she should go back there after your mum is probably happier in her current state. She's glowed up. She has less worries. She has more energy, more resources than she did have whilst married to your father. And you're saying you want her to go back. You are her op. And I mean that in every way. You do not like the new version of your mum. You don't like your mum happy. Do you know
Let me
how
tell you
terrible
something,
that is? And then it's the non-invitation to his wedding.
That's what I was gonna
what are you
say.
waiting? And then also forgetting that his dad is now married, but you don't like, and that's what she said. It was the fact that she's dating in particular. Pardon? Sorry, guys,
Yeah,
what's
because
going on?
It's really toxic.
No, yeah,
It's
incredibly
like,
toxic.
It's like the kids think that they can dictate the way the mum lives her life.
I
No,
don't-
but
I-
do you know what it is as well?
Whoa.
They ultimately don't want their mum to be happy.
Yeah.
And they're never going to want that. But you know who is? Very quickly, because you know what goes around comes around. You see that 25-year-old daughter? You're going to get married one day. And you might get a husband that's just like your dad.
Exactly.
And you're going to
hope
experience
she
and come
does.
crawling back to your mum because
Oh,
you're going to
sorry,
realize.
I now understand.
Yeah, because she's going to understand. But also, OP, rise up and tell your
Literally.
children about themselves. You know,
Yeah.
this Reddit talk that you've come, am I the arsehole? You need to tell them, I wiped your clock for how many years? I looked after you. I fended for you. And your dad did nothing. All he gave was money and a household. I did everything whilst working. And this is how you repay me. You know what? I'm not talking to you.
Literally.
Yeah.
And that's what I would do to my kids if they ever came up and ran up on me like that. Because there's no way.
No.
All
And then,
that work.
no, and then also they want her to go back because they're upset that she basically had to glow up after the divorce. Let's just say something here. Even if she went back to her frumpy old OP in the past year, I'm sorry, guys. Can we just dispel and be very clear? The husband cheated multiple times. And regardless of whether she went back to that state or whether she had actually done the glow up whilst during the marriage, do you know what, yeah? People cheat if they want to. That's it. No amount of glowing up plastic surgery, etc., etc., is
Has
going
any
to stop.
influence on that.
Has never stopped a cheater. It doesn't. If they want to cheat, they're going to cheat. So whether your mum glowed up whilst in a marriage or I don't even know now, it doesn't matter. Your dad did not want her. It's really straightforward. He didn't want her.
Listen, guys.
No, this is the most ridiculous
But do you
dilemma
know-
I've
do you know what
ever read.
What it is for me though is the kids, like that son.
It's mad.
It's that son thinking that he can tell his mum how to live
not
her
just- it's
life.
not just not the son, it's the daughter as well.
No, but the daughter's got no contact, right? But it's
She's got no contact,
low
yeah.
contact. But it's the son that's speaking, and he's saying, "Go back to how you used to look." And also, this dating thing, it needs to stop. I don't like it.
No, it's both of them.
It's both of them.
Yeah, it's both of them,
Okay,
yeah.
but
That's why I said the
but that's what's
the
so
woman.
crazy to me.
It's
That's what's
crazy,
so.
but
How can you tell your parent how they should look? How can you tell your parent that they shouldn't date? Meanwhile, the dad's been married for how many years?
Exactly. Why is there no grace for the mother? Like all of this vim that they've got, bottle it
and hand deliver it to your dad. Don't
It's
ever
true.
talk to me. If that was me, I'd be like, don't even utter a word in my direction. Are
But
you
this is
flipping
why
crazy?
I'm saying that she needs to stand up, because it sounds like everyone that's talking to her, her kids, her husband, and you know what?
No.
One thing, what's her daughter's name? I would say
Carla.
Carla. When you broke your back in that car accident, who was here helping you?
Who put off their own happiness.
Yeah.
Because
For how
many
she wanted
years?
to divorce. I remember they just made a pact that they'll stay until she went off to college.
Let this be a
That was
lesson
like
to
10
everyone
years.
listening. Never, if you
No.
want to leave, leave. Because you see this, them kids were never going to like you anyway. You should have left when
true.
she was
That's
back
what I
out.
was gonna say.
It's true.
Because look now, they still don't like you, and you did all of that.
They are so ungrateful.
They're ungrateful,
So
but also
ungrateful.
They're brainwashed. I want to know what the dad has said.
I
Because
know.
I'll tell you something. It's coming from that camp. It is. Because that doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't make
And
sense.
the stepmom might be saying a few things
I've
as well.
never,
you know?
honestly,
It's
do you know?
also what they heard in the household when they were together, guys.
Yeah.
Like, remember, they lived in that household for a long time.
Yeah.
They saw their mum look a certain way. They saw the way their dad, and they blamed, they built up all that hate towards their mother, and it's spewing out now. Guys,
But
it
they're too
doesn't-
old for that.
No, I'm talking from teenage years. So I'm just saying, I think it started from way, way, way back when. I don't think it started now. I don't think it started in their 20s. I
See,
think
okay, so-
this is a build-up that's been happening, and now they're blaming her because they're like, you ruined this and they're immature.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was
And
gonna say
yeah.
extremely
immature,
childish.
Childish kids. They're
Yeah.
kids. I don't care about their
But they-
age. They haven't grown up.
I think that's so ridiculous because in your 20s you're having relationships and you understand how they work. So you should be able to understand that no amount of changing aesthetically, physically would have changed the fact that your dad had a wandering eye.
Yeah, but hold on a second. If the son is like the dad, apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. It won't matter. That's why I said the only thing
this
she's
is
got
ridiculous.
going is that daughter realizing when she becomes a mother, when she becomes a wife, if she so chooses, she might come back to her mum. All of this is a big hefty maybe, but
My
I'm
advice
really
is-
surprised that the girl is behaving like this towards her mum. The
That's why I
son,
say she's
it could go
brainwashed.
either way, but the girl, nah.
No, that's why I say she's brainwashed. But either way, anyway, not the asshole. I would say disown them kids.
And
For sure.
get that belly top right up here, sir.
Okay, we have a top comment. Huh? Is this for real? Why do your kids think they have a say in what you wear? This is so strange. That's not normal and it's not okay. If you go back to the old you, does the ex go back too? What's the end game here? Because ex is married. Surely the adult whiner children know this.
They're idiots, man.
Big fools. My story comes from relationship advice. Wife 27 female, cheated on me, 30 male, early in the relationship. Now she's flaunting it. My wife cheated on me at the beginning of our relationship 5 years ago. I forgave her but asked if she could remove him from her social group out of respect. She fought it but eventually agreed. Back in December, she added him again. She only said, "I'm sorry, this makes you feel bad," then went back to her hometown for a couple of days. She went AWOL, spent many nights away from my in-laws' house, and gave me some elaborate excuses. I didn't buy it, so I confronted her. She ended the relationship over text. She came back home after a couple of days and said she was going to move out. It took her 2 months to actually do it. I ended up helping her move out. Then I moved out myself since I didn't want to be in our old apartment alone. We haven't filed for divorce yet, but have been living separately for 3 weeks. Today, she posted a picture on social media showing she's traveling abroad with the guy she cheated on me with. Clearly, she wanted me to see it. I feel like it's total disrespect. Needless to say, I gave her the stars and the moon over 5 years of marriage, so I can't understand this move of hers. Please, I could use some help or perspective here. My reaction is no reaction at all. Do you think that's okay?
Absolutely okay. You need
perfect.
to get yourself in therapy and move on from this relationship. That divorce couldn't come faster. She's so disrespectful.
Very.
And you should have left.
Yeah. Always the first time.
Should have left the first time.
She doesn't give a heck. She really doesn't because she's flaunting it, taking pictures, posting them, whatever it may be. The best thing you can do is no reaction. Do not let her know that it's getting to you, it's eating you up. Yeah, just
nothing. Stay silent.
Yeah, I think his reaction is more than okay. It's actually perfect.
Yeah.
Because if you go and do anything, respond, or in turn post a picture showing that you're living life wells, it looks a bit petty, and then I don't know, you end up in this sort of warped game. You don't need you don't need any of that. You're responding in the right way. As Marie said, go seek some therapy. But honestly, just like try and figure out how to move on. What she is moralless. She's a moralless woman.
Yeah.
She is not only disrespectful, she's an asshole.
Yeah.
You should have 100%. The first time she cheated, that's enough. You don't need any more examples. Like, I really think that we just need to start moving in silence.
Yeah.
Silently move out, silently divorce her, silently just do everything in silence, but just keep moving forward, never backwards. Top comment. It's time to block her on all social media. I'm really sorry. This is going to get harder before it gets easier, but it will get easier. Block her because seeing this stuff will only prolong your pain. I agree.
Agreed.
I don't even know why I didn't suggest that.
It's true. Because I love a block button. My block button is always in use. I blocked someone yesterday.
Mine is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for kicking my sister out of my house, for telling my husband he's so lucky to be rich? My husband lost both of his parents when he was 17. Their deaths were preventable and others died alongside them. Because of this, a lawsuit followed, and at a young age, my husband found himself orphaned but wealthy. However, we can all understand that this money wasn't something to be celebrated. It came at a huge loss to him, his parents. We met a few years after he was awarded the money and got married after dating for 4 years. We're now the proud parents of 3 kids and we have a stable life. We're very comfortable and a few people know exactly how much my husband actually has. He's very smart with his money, not only investing, but looking to our future and the future of each of our children. We both still work hard, but the money means we're also very fortunate. My family, parents and sister, know that my husband's parents are deceased. They also know how much the lawsuit and that money was paid to the family members. They have no idea how much my husband has, certainly not my parents and definitely not my sister, but they do know he would give it all away to have his parents back. That's why I reacted so strongly when my sister made the comment she did. We had my family over for dinner. My sister mentioned wanting to bring her boyfriend to future dinners and everyone was talking about that. Then my sister mentioned wanted to go away with her boyfriend for the weekend and how they were saving up for it. She said it was a big step because they were also talking about moving in together. My husband mentioned we had gone to the place they were talking about and said they'd have a great time. She said she hoped so, but she wouldn't have the same kind of money he does. He told her we did nothing fancy there, which is 100% true. My parents wanted to know when they were thinking of moving in together. Things were going fine. Then, out of nowhere, my sister said to my husband that the least he could do was offer them the money for the weekend away since he could afford it. I shut her down and told her she wasn't entitled to other people paying for her trips with her boyfriend. My sister responded that he could afford to send them for a month if he wanted to. My husband told her that was a big ask and she snapped at him, saying he had no idea how lucky he was to be rich because she'd give anything to have that kind of money. The insensitivity of that comment enraged me and I told my sister she needed to leave. I made sure she left because I wasn't tolerating that BS. My sister has told me almost every day since that I overreacted and that throwing her out was over the top. I told her I don't want to hear anything but a sincere apology from her to my husband.
Yep.
And until then, she can stay out of my house. My husband said I didn't need to stand by that and he didn't want to come between us. I told him he wasn't coming between us. She was.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the arsehole for my actions? Am I being too harsh? I just think that comment was cruel and vicious, especially considering my husband had to lose his parents to get that money.
No, absolutely not the asshole. What she's doing is she's standing up for her person, her husband, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But also, do you know what? If you let comments like that slide, then you normalize and you foster an environment where that can be said again and again and in a more snarky, snide way. And it's just like, you have to nip those comments in the bud immediately, because as you said, it came at huge expense, and he would be okay with giving the money back in order to get his family back, because said he was orphaned.
Yeah.
Like, come on. The problem here is the entitlement.
Yes.
The entitlement is mad. Like, it's actually so big.
You can afford
like,
to take
how
this
can you?
a month.
Is he her dad? Is he her father?
Look at your dad.
Who is he to her? Brother-in-law. And yet somehow this man's supposed to go in his pocket and pay for her and her boyfriend's little trip. And
For
then,
a month.
And then where does it stop?
It wasn't for a
No,
month.
it was for a weekend,
She said,
but
but you
she
can
was
even
saying you
afford
can
for a month.
afford. But my thing is,
dare
like,
you?
first, where does she get the gall to ask that's some, like, when did that become normal that your sister's partner, husband, pays for your trips? Like, and also,
envious.
this is a man. This is a man that she's going with, a boyfriend. Why should he even be willing to accept these trips from her
Another man.
sister's husband? Like, what's going on here? But also, it's just the entitlement. The entitlement is what led her to be big and bad and to say these words. And so, yeah, do you know what? She can't step foot into your house. She can't come and see your children. She needs to check herself, apologize sincerely, and then maybe we can have a relationship. But do you know what? I'm so glad that she nipped it in the bud immediately.
Do you know what? Some people are so embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
They've got no class. Don't talk about people's wealth
I
or
know.
money. I find that shit embarrassing as hell. Like, I've even had, like, certain friends, you can't bring everyone everywhere. That's what I've noticed. Like, certain people just be opening their mouth. Oh my God, look how expensive that is. Oh, you must have paid so much for that. Oh, you're so lucky.
Classless.
Like, it's so classless. Please go out and collect some class.
Classless, tasteless.
What? No, it's so tasteless. I think, like, literally, I get the ick when I hear certain things like that. And ultimately, it's just insensitive. Like, you know how we got these means. It wasn't because he worked hard for it. Not saying that he doesn't. He's obviously invested in whatever. But the root of his wealth is through unfortunate circumstances. So don't say stuff like that. But yeah, May's correct. Anyway, you know me, guys, it only gets worse. So I'm really glad OP nipped it in the bud so her sister knows not to do that. Also, another thing I would implement, once she apologises, because she's going to have to apologise, you are not staying here. You're not allowed to be staying in our home, because that girl was envious. You cannot
she's gonna
be
start
around,
stealing things, you
my-
know.
Not that's extreme. She may do.
Nah,
but I'm telling
that's
you,
what's next. She's a thief.
She
I
could-
promise you, if somebody...
Mate, you're
firstly,
assuming here. Come on, man.
Guilty.
Mate.
Girl, what?
This isn't a movie, yeah. Like, May's assuming, but that's an extreme. But I'm just saying, I don't think you should be around someone that is envious of you and the way you live. Like, I don't think anything good can really come about all of that. Don't get me wrong, they're sisters, so, you know, they're going to spend time with each other, whatever it may be. But I mean, just keep her out of, like, your home. Don't necessarily do expensive stuff with her. Like, just do ordinary, bog standard, go to the cafe. But I mean, like, don't invite her on luxurious holidays and stuff. That's what I would do, because it's going to grow. I think this envious, like, this entitled feeling, it often grows. But nip it in the bud helps, like, knowing that, yeah, you don't play this. Like, don't talk like that. Like, don't make out like life is so easy. Don't do that. So, yeah, not the asshole at all. She needed to be told.
Do you know what? When May said she's classless, it reminded me, and you guys, at my dowry, remember what I told you that my aunt, when they sprayed the dollars on her, she picked it up and put it in.
Classless.
She picked up the dollars. She's just picking up the money. And I was looking at her from the side. I was like, I'm
No, but
so
wait a second, is she
embarrassed.
holding it to give to
No,
you?
she
Remember when
was
you pick up the dollars, you're supposed
stealing.
to give it to us? She kept it for
She was
herself.
No, but you know,
Stealing.
at like every Af wedding, there's always people that have been assigned
No.
to collect
She
the
was
dollars.
there was someone
give it
doing
to-
that. She was on the sides picking up the pieces.
No, that I can't.
It was so embarrassing.
Stand classless people.
It was so embarrassing. Even at the wedding, if you remember, she stood up and she was like, "Everybody, me as well. I want a Nigerian."
Yeah, I remember.
I remember that.
I remember that.
This is a woman with a whole husband at home and a child. And she said, no, this wedding is too nice.
She lost her mind.
She lost her mind and she...
She lost her mind and herself.
Actually, also, should I speak English, guys? For those that don't know, I'm from Ivory Coast, so a lot of my family speak French. And this was the French side of my family, so not the English ones. They needed a translator to understand most of the wedding. So tell me why my aunt managed to make sure these two lines, she grabbed the microphone to say, if there's a Nigerian in here, me as well. What I said, ground, swallow me up now. Why did she have to come? I said to Mum, why did you bring your sister here? She's like, she's my sister. I didn't know she was going to do this. I said, this track record, it has followed her from childhood. This is not the first time.
I told you, it always starts. Yeah.
I said,
and it goes
2 days
bigger
ago,
and
she
bigger
picked up
and
the money
bigger.
from the floor and look at her now. Embarrassing. But yeah, you're right. You're right.
I cannot. No, I swear down, it's one of like my biggest ick. I cannot stand classless people.
Yeah.
Just keep quiet. What, you don't think we don't see the luxury here? Yes, indeed we do.
I've had my moments and I'm
Like-
like, Marie, calm down.
But you know when you just have to keep
But,
quiet,
also,
like.
but you know what?
please.
She was trying to count his money.
Yeah,
and like,
I don't like
why
stuff
are
when
you
people
counting
do that.
anybody's money? Like, seriously, just like take time.
Unless someone has offered you things, okay, cool. I understand the entitlement because they actually said something and they'll deliver, but they're not delivering. I get that. However, like entitlement with people's wealth, money, like just stop.
I think, like,
Just
if
stop.
she can finesse a holiday from him, fine. But not like that, sis.
Yeah.
That's not how
But
she's
what
going to
she
get
should
her
have done-
holiday.
No, but what she
Sweet
should
about
have
it.
done.
She wasn't even being sweet.
Thank
about
you.
it.
That's what I'm like.
No, but what
you
she
might
should
have been able to.
is ask her sister. I would have been like,
just-
sis, like, talk to her, brother-in-law. Do you
Create
think he
one
can
story.
help me?
Yeah,
Exactly.
just-
That's what you do.
I would still think that's a bit cheeky.
No,
No, not
it's
with your
100
own sibling.
Let me tell you, it is cheeky.
But with your own
but
sibling, it's fine. Like, when the way I
Yeah.
can talk to May is not the way I can talk to you. I can talk to May about anything, ask for anything. Even if it's a
Yeah.
no, I'm still going to try. Do you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what
I
I
mean,
mean?
to be
But
fair,
it's
even
like-
when you know it's a no, that's when you can just
Exactly, but with
big
your,
and
with your
bad and ask
family, it's
bold
absolutely
questions.
fine. But it's like, this man has come into your family. Don't embarrass the whole family with like these ways.
Yeah, it's true. We have a top comment, right? I'd have responded, you're actually saying you'd trade your parents' lives for just money
Exactly.
and then never invite her to any family gatherings again because it clearly doesn't mean anything to her if she's willing to sell them out for a quick buck.
It's true, actually. I realised that we hadn't actually addressed that. When she
had.
said, oh, did you?
I did. I said you can't invite her any and everywhere because she is literally
No.
envious.
And let me land,
Oh,
let me
about
land.
their parents, about
Yes.
swapping,
Where's the
yeah.
swapping?
Because do
I
you
don't
know
think she
what?
was thinking that deeply. Guys, I'll be honest.
And therein lies the problem.
No, she's so insensitive.
Because
She's not thinking that in order to
she
have this wealth,
said-
she has to let go of
No,
this.
no,
she isn't thinking that.
she
She's just saying, you're
said-
so lucky you're wealthy.
No, but she
Say
said
that
she'd
she'll
give
give
up
up anything. She said,
Yeah, but I
I'll
don't-
do anything
I
to
don't
have
think
She
so,
doesn't
to
really
be
mean
rich.
she's just saying it. It's just like what you say, innit?
Yeah. I understand that, but it's like to say that when the parents are very much in the room as well is crazy.
I don't think she means it.
Her parents were there.
Yeah. But I don't think she means it like that. She's just saying that life must be so, because people do that all the time. Life must be so easy for you. Oh, look how lucky you are. She's saying it from that.
No,
That's
do you know
it,
what?
man.
I completely understand that. I just think, access revoked,
Literally.
Honestly, nothing good comes from a relationship where the other person is envious of you. Because do you know what? See that envy, there are so many other actions that follow after that.
Yep.
And none of them are good. Like, it's envy that can lead to like
Theft.
SVU, like murder, or
Here we go again, guys. Back to the veg.
I'm looking for Olivia.
Listen,
Does she live
swear
under your
to-
shoe?
I swear to God.
Why not just say
scheduling.
crime? Why not
Okay,
just say
crime.
crime?
You always.
Guys need to watch Law and Order. It's very good.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's got a guitar. The criminal justice system there are two.
I'm not serious. I'm not serious.
I love it there.
So my story is actually an update. So recap from a previous story. The recap is one of our listeners was torn between protecting a friendship and exposing the truth about her friend's partner. Her close friend has been in a toxic 6-year relationship with a married man who lies, cheats and humiliates her, yet she refuses to leave him. One night, whilst out drinking, the man made an unwanted sexual advance toward our listener. Another time, he kissed her without consent, then tried to blame her for it. She has proof,
but fears telling her friend to ruin their bond. She had asked if she should speak up or stay silent. Now the update. I had to tell my friend everything that happened because I had all the evidence to prove my innocence, but to my surprise, she said it wasn't the first time. He had done the same thing to another one of her friends. We both cried and agreed to confront him. She texted him to come over and he did. As soon as she asked, "What did you do to Tanya?" in brackets name changed, he immediately started shouting, "Don't ask me stupid questions." She replied calmly, "Why are you yelling? I haven't even said anything yet. Do you even know what I'm asking?" But deep down, we all knew he was guilty. We were in his car at that time. I was sitting in the back seat with my 4-year-old daughter and my friend was in the front. He refused to answer any more questions and told us to get out. It was around 9 p.m. and we didn't have a phone to call an Uber, so we had to walk around 15 minutes back home in the dark. But to my shock, my friend went back to him later. She even begged him to talk to her again after he went silent following the confrontation. She said, if he comes back, it won't be the same this time. I laughed and said, "You're still talking about next time?" To my surprise, he did come back and they acted like nothing had happened. I told her, as long as he's around, I won't be. So when we go out, don't bring him into our plans or conversations. Now, this married guy keeps playing her from every angle. What bothers me most is that every time he breaks her heart, she runs to me with the story. These days, I don't even react. I just say, "You're enjoying it. So keep going, girl. I'm tired." We're still cool, like always, but inside I feel angry whenever she brings him up. She believes every single word he says.
Why are you still friends? Why are you still friends? The man violated you. You then spoke to your friend, told her what the situation was, and she goes
And sides with him.
and sides with him. And now she's happily back. And somehow you've created space where she comes and complains to you about him. Why are you still friends? I don't understand it. What's so great about this woman who can hear about you being violated by the person that she's actively choosing to spend time with? Sorry, I don't understand what's happening here.
Yeah.
Personally, I would have filed a police report
Yeah.
for sexual assault. That's what I would have done. And then you can all piss off. All of you. If you don't talk to me after, if you want to go back to him, that just means that you are willing to leave me in a situation where I could be possibly essayed, because nothing that he did was with my consent. And I've told you, and you're like, it has happened to another friend. So you're just willing to let this man go and violate your friends and lose your friends, but still go back to him. You know where her loyalty lies. Get out now. Stop being friends with her. It's not worth it.
And you know what? Her self-worth being so low is at an expense to any female around her.
Yep.
Because anybody can get it. And the fact that he sent that, it's the text message for me when he accused her of kissing him. That told me this ain't his first rodeo. That told me that he has a history of
she
doing.
said it.
Yeah, no.
She literally said.
No. But I'm saying, but that for me, it was that move. It's like he's playing chess. He's been here before. He's played this game before, and you know what? That is scary to me. That is so scary. So I think, but do you know what? I don't even know. Thanks for the update. I think.
She's like, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for keeping abreast.
Thanks for the yeah. Thanks for the update. I think that whatever we say, it falls on deaf ears. We advised that last time that you report him. We advised that you let go of this friendship. We told you that she's not going to believe you. So do you know what? Fair enough. Actually, she did believe you, but that still meant shit. It meant absolutely nothing, and you're in you're in a worse situation actually now. And do you know what? I do think that you might think that maybe have a little bit more power by being able to say to her, "You're enjoying this show, you love this circus." But I don't know what's good about this friendship anymore. Like, I really don't, because you are with someone that doesn't care if you're suffering.
Agreed.
How can she though, when she's suffering and she's in that situation willfully? I'm so sorry. How can someone who doesn't love themselves cannot extend that to anybody else? So
I agree.
you're in a dangerous
I agree.
situation anyway. This can only happen once she starts to love herself. So of course she's going to keep running to you and being like,
And that's why
you
she
know,
needs to exit.
She does. But do you guys remember Bad Sisters?
Yeah.
I
The
never
sister.
watched. Oh yeah,
Yeah, we
Patches.
watched that sister.
Sorry, yeah.
The sister that was with, what was his name? John Paul. What was his name?
Oh, the
Yes, John-
lead,
yeah,
the
JP.
blonde.
JP.
Yeah.
JP was awful, but you know what? The sisters,
Grace.
he was so awful to everybody around, and she was like, well,
Grace.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And how did it end?
She died.
Yeah, but she's an idiot anyway. She's like a magnet. Some people are magnets to dickheads, and your friend might be one of them.
He's
but
broken her down.
yeah, but
as well.
but what she needs to do, sometimes the only thing you can control is your own actions. So exit stage left out of this situation.
Hi, OP said podcast. Due to my
Hi.
due to my current circumstances, I prefer to remain anonymous. I know your show reaches a lot of people, so I've decided to share my situation with you and your followers in hopes of getting more advice. I've been in a relationship with a lady for about 1.5 years. We used to live together abroad and we stayed under the same roof for about 7 months. Eventually, due to some reasons, she decided to return to Ghana. And for about 4 months, I continued to send her money and other things. Later, I ran into some problems at work and things weren't the same financially. I explained the situation to her, and as a result, I couldn't send her money as regularly. Sometimes I had to skip a month or two. After about 2 months of me not working, she suddenly called me and suggested we mutually end the relationship. I had noticed she started giving excuses and wasn't engaging in our conversations like before. I gave her 2 days, thinking maybe she just needed some space. When I reached out again, she didn't respond. Eventually, she messaged me, officially asking to end the relationship. It hurt deeply, but I couldn't force her to stay, so I agreed. Sometime later, I was sharing a job opportunity and offer letter with a friend, and by mistake, I sent it to her instead. She congratulated me on the new job. Realizing the mistake, I deleted the message and even deleted her number that same day. Fast forward, there was something I needed, and she was the only person I knew who could connect me to someone who sold it. So I contacted her brother to get her number. When I messaged her, she helped me with the info I needed and then started asking how I was doing. One thing led to another, and she eventually suggested we get back together. I was still single at the time, and to be honest, I still loved her, so I agreed. We began talking again, and things seemed okay at first. Then she started asking me for money. Because of what happened previously, I told her I didn't have any. She asked about the job I had mentioned, and I lied, telling her I had left it because I didn't like it and was currently at home. After that, she started ignoring my messages again, sometimes taking up to 2 days to reply. But because I loved her, I decided to send her something. I didn't want her to go hungry. Every time I send her money, she becomes friendly and communicative. But when she asks for money, I tell her I'll send it at a later time. She goes silent until that day arrives. Here's the main issue. The main issue? The whole thing is an issue. Okay, anyway. Here's the main issue. My parents really like her, and I do love her. But I can't shake the feeling that she doesn't love me back. And what she really wants is my money. I'm working and can afford to give her what she asked for, but this doubt is troubling me. Looking forward to your thoughts. Thanks.
She's using you. She wants just your money and your money alone. Her interactions and her engagement with you are purely based on how much you can send over to Ghana. That's it. Point blank, period. Okay? She doesn't love you.
She doesn't even like you.
Yeah, and I think everybody deserves love. They deserve someone that it's not just there for their good times. So when they're up, like your partner should be there for you during poverty, during depression, just through a lot, basically. So, move on. Move on. And you know what? You already know what to do because you lied about the job, because you know in your heart of heart that she only likes you when you can serve a purpose, which is sending money to her. So, yeah, get rid, delete, and block that number that you now have again and move on.
Your parents can like someone else.
Yeah. Do you know what, my guy? I'm going to give you a really old saying, but I think it's very relevant right now. She is a fair-weathered friend.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, she's only here for the good times, meaning when the money is rolling. When the money is not, as you said, the communication becomes low to no. Yeah. And then also her responses, the way in which they happen, you know that she actually is only interested in your money. And I don't think that you need anybody else to confirm that. Her actions are confirming that.
Exactly. And I think, look, tricking is an age-old tale. People have been doing it for a long time. And if that is the nature of your relationship, if you know that's what it is, then okay. But it just seems that she's using you as a trick. You're actually one of her tricks.
Yeah.
And when she can get money off of you, then it's all good. Everything is sweet. But when she can't, all of a sudden you're not hearing from her. All of a sudden she's saying, yeah, let's not do this. Don't do it to yourself. You already know what it is. Just be true to yourself and did it.
And there's plenty more fish in the sea.
There's more of her than there are better people anyway. So don't worry. If you want another one of her, continue.
What advice is that? What advice was that?
He likes it. Some people love the drama.
Well, if he's on, I think if he's writing in, I don't think he loves the drama. I think maybe he just needed a bit
He
of
wanted
advice.
female advice.
And I've given that. I began and then I ended differently.
end
But
it.
that
It
ending, it can't be the ending we provide.
You're crazy. What is that?
I don't want that
Okay,
ending
okay.
attached to my name.
Okay.
Don't attach
Not
it
to
to me
my
either.
name.
Reverse.
Okay. Sorry. The advice is, sadly, she's not into you as much as you are into her. She only wants your money. So do what's best for you and walk away. She doesn't love you. She only wants your cash dollars.
Better.
Thanks for listening, guys. That's all we have for today. And don't forget to let us know which dilemmas that you love the most, what you want to hear more of. We love to hear feedback from you.
See you then.
Bye. My dear, you're doing too much talking. Wrap things up, yeah?
Okay,
Go
cool.
on.
Sorry.
I've been told
No,
off.
she's
No, you're right.
She's doing a lot and she knows it. You know, sometimes you're talking, yeah, and you're like, whoa, this is really long. Hey, I'm Mel and welcome to OP Said, where we read the wildest and most varied Reddit stories.
And I'm May, and today's stories are drama-filled, full of surprises, and a little bit of revenge.
I'm Marie, and let's get started.
Oh, sorry, I didn't like the way I said revenge. Can we say that
Okay,
again?
cool. One more time.
Sorry.
Okay. Hey, I'm Mel and welcome to OP Said, where we meet. Hey, I'm Mel and welcome to OP Said, where we read the most wildest and most varied Reddit stories out there.
And I'm May, and today's stories are full of surprises, full of drama, and a little bit of revenge.
I'm Marie. Welcome to another episode. Let's go.
I feel like the way I said revenge was like...
Oh,
It's
let
fine,
it go,
let
man.
It go, girl. Daria, this is how you sound.
Do you know what I
a little
mean?
bit of
Exactly,
revenge.
literally.
No, and a little bit of revenge.